Good afternoon, everybody. It's 1 o'clock on Thursday afternoon for all of you that are watching. Hello, hello, hello. With me this afternoon is a fantastic comedian, one of my best friends in comedy. He's been doing comedy since he was 6, I guess. Also, holder of 2 Midwest Emmys. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. David Harris.
I'll clap for myself.
You should. You should. You can't hear anybody else clapping. Can't hear him clapping. So
it's normal. That's how I like to go into my shows anyway.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's start it this way. You are a very social person. And this stay-at-home thing has got to be driving you nuts.
Oh, yeah. Well, I just woke up like a minute ago, so that's just normal for me anyway.
Julie Bain clapped for you, but yeah.
That didn't. Now I don't see you. This is so weird. Now I just see me on the screen.
I'm just since you're this is how it works. Since you're,
I don't like it. I already don't like it. Start it over.
Can't start it over. For those of you that are wondering, David Harris is here with me, and behind me today.
Yeah, you sound irritated, but you invited me.
I'm not irritated.
For those that are wondering, David Harris.
No. I'm just saying, because sometimes when you start these, not everybody is hopped on right away. It's like it takes a while sometimes.
Yeah, and they're also like, who the hell's David Harris?
No, I don't think. I think most people know who David Harris is. If you know who David Harris is, give this a like, or give it an angry. Either one is fine with me.
No, don't see how many don't know me.
Don't give an angry. Don't give an angry. I was going to just say, for those of you, because some people, here's the thing, David, this has become a thing, and it has to do with my background. And people sometimes say, "Oh my gosh, that's an interesting background. What in the heck is it?" Well, today. It's no, you should be here. You should be here for sure. That's my brother up in Alexandria. Hello, Steve. Good to see you, friend.
That's a weird comment, Steve. Like you're peeping in on something really creepy, you weirdo.
Well, let's be fair.
Or maybe I shouldn't be. I don't even know this guy.
Let's be fair, David. But anyway, point being, this is a different aquarium. I've got several aquariums that I use as backgrounds. This is from the Aquarium of the Pacific. And this one is chock full of fish. So watch that. Keep an eye on it. It'll be changing as we go by. It won't have any sharks. I haven't seen a shark in this one.
Watch out. It just bit your head.
It didn't really. Anyway, so as we were saying, the quarantine kind of making you a little bit of nuts.
Oh, it makes everybody nuts. Steve's already heckling. I don't even know this guy. Listen,
Aaron Isaac
on my reading selections. All right, they're all magazines.
Hi, Aaron Isaacs. Good to see you.
Yeah, hey, what's up, Aaron?
All
right. Already the comics with trying to be funnier than us. Look at that.
Yeah.
Sounds fit.
Yeah, he was.
Good one, Knudsen. Keep it for the stage. We don't have that anymore.
Oh my god.
I don't know. Do I seem like it's making me nuts?
A little.
I feel fine.
A little bit.
Honestly, no, it is making me nuts. I mean, we're all nuts. If you're out of work, you're nuts right now. I mean, that's it. Unless you have kids, and then you're double nuts. So it is hard to find different projects to do. But I've been cleaning. I've been eating twice as much as I normally do, which means 4 times as much now. I mean, I don't know if you're supposed to have 8 bags of M&Ms before bed, but that's what I've been doing lately.
Well, you look family good.
Side. Yeah, thank you. God bless you. That's why
from
here. Yeah, that's right. And I'm wearing black too. I blend into the bookcase.
yeah. You're. I mean, at least that thing. So let me.
Yeah, I feel like I'm doing what everybody else is doing with just like trying to clean up, trying to go outside for walks. It's just I'm exhausted already from I want to be out performing like you. You know, I don't want to be on here with you on this with you. It sucks.
We can fix that in a heartbeat. Let me ask you this. So are you like, I feel like I want to take like 2 or 3 showers a day, just for something to do.
I actually, now it's getting creepy. I do. Steve, are you still tuned in? No, I've actually, sometimes I have taken 2 showers a day, one to like do something like this, and then another one to just relax at night before I go to bed. Yeah. And it kills it kills an hour. Well, 20 minutes,
That's
but
a long shower.
It's nice actually to do that because you can relax and you kill some time. And, I guess, again, some people are out working, at jobs. Some people are working from home, so they maybe don't have that time. But for the people that do, it's like, it's nice to just keep your, something to do.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And I use all the soap in my shower, but that was from before anyway. So
soap is essential. You can get that when you go to the store. So do you recall?
How are you doing today though? What time did you get up?
Today I got up at like around 8:15.
Oh my God! Do you normally get up this early?
Well, yeah. When I was doing that day job, we had to be up in Roanoke, so I was getting up at 6. The problem for me is I still don't go to bed until sometimes 3. So I have a hard time going to sleep at night. But it's just because there's no reason for anything. You know what I mean? It's like, there is.
Tired when you get up in the morning then?
Yeah. When I get tired is like when I get done doing this during the day. When I'm done with this, I'm like, all right, I think I can have a nap now. And then I'll probably we'll get done at 2:00 or whatever, or whatever time it is.
So difficult
and then I'll take a snooze until Judge Judy comes on, because you got to watch the go home shows from Judge Judy. She's going to be done. And
so how long? Wait, back up. You're going too fast. We're comics. We're supposed to be making jokes in between. What are you doing?
What do you mean?
So wait, how long's your nap?
Usually hour and a half, 2 hours.
I'll do an hour and a half nap. That's a nice. They say there's certain lengths of naps that you're supposed to take if you're going to do it, because then you can get back up and feel more energized, as opposed to feeling worse and then wanting to. But see, don't you think that screws up your cycle from going to bed?
Oh, I'm positive it does. Yeah. But it's like I don't know if I want to change it. I don't take a nap every day.
Right. I don't.
I just like get pooped out. So let me ask you this. Do you recall the last show that you did before all of this came down?
Oh, back in the 1800s?
Yeah.
It was a good time with the high school children. I did a show for high school.
You sound like Bill Cosby.
Huh?
You sounded like Bill Cosby.
No comment. I did a high school show in Bloomer, Wisconsin. I think it was Bloomer, for 400 high school kids, and the gym, which is by the way, the worst place to perform, as you know. We can talk about that later. But it was super fun. They were close enough and they were packed into the seats. Because the hard thing about a gym, and for people that don't perform, is that, especially for comedy, is that the space is so huge that the sound escapes and it doesn't feel like an intimate, energetic experience sometimes, depending on how far away you are. But this gym wasn't so big, and they were all kind of packed into the bleachers, so it made it a lot of fun. And there were kids that came up to me afterwards and were super nice, and it was just it was a fun thing. I don't do that many of the high school shows, but normally I'm working clubs or corporate events. But if one comes along and they're like, we're going to give you this amount of money, I'm like, okay, let's do that. I'm going to need more. But yeah, so it was fun. What was your last show?
My last show was on the 13th of March. That I did with Logan Nielsen, and that was down in Lyle, Minnesota, and that was a lot of fun. They packed the little Legion Hall because it's not a very big town, and everybody came to it, and it was really a lot of fun.
That was right before things started to get shut down.
Yep.
Because we shut stuff down for my New Hope show that night, and that was supposed to do, by the way, newhopecinema.com.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, it's weird. It's weird as a performer, not like we not performing because we have to stay on stage to stay sharp. That's why both of us aren't funny right now. Also because we're not funny. But like, but no, you know what I mean though. It's like you got to stay sharp by doing your show, and you can't really do it in your bedroom and start, practicing or in the mirror or whatever.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think to myself, if I could just have interchangeable backgrounds anytime I do comedy, I would kill so much harder.
That's hilarious.
So much harder.
Yes, you should have the Barack Obama and then like different news media screens like you have here. Can people see that, or is that just what I can see?
No, they can see it.
I can't tell what I'm supposed to, what everybody
sees that big, beautiful screen there, the news
they
screen
don't
with
see
Obama.
That big, beautiful ponytail of yours that's hidden though.
It's because it's not nearly as big now. Some people already know this. I ended up cutting off about 6 inches because of the day job, and I did it.
Wait, you got your ponytail circumcised?
Pretty much.
Yeah. You're Jewish. You're Jewish now.
Is that how my hair is Jewish. The last trip we made for the day job came back, and on that weekend, I had my daughter-in-law cut off about 6 inches, and then we sat and didn't do anything until we got fired. So,
what do you mean you got? Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we were the plan because of course nobody knew, right? So It was like, this is going to be a week and then you'll come back, or this is going to be 2 weeks and then you'll come back. And there was so much up in the air, and there were so many moving parts to the whole thing that
Can I say what your day job was?
Yeah.
This is for the Dunkin' thing. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. For Market Squares and Dunkin' and
Dunkin' Donuts.
Rick Logan and Wendy Mayberry and Greg Coleman and Kristen Anderson and a whole bunch of other great people.
You look like you could work for Dunkin'.
I was looking. See, I was going to try to move from trainer to tester, but I had to move to Boston for it.
I feel like you still are a tester on the side. I mean, listen, I am too.
I'll be honest with you. Do you know how long it's been since I had a donut? Do you know how long it's been since I had a donut? Literally.
I couldn't get yesterday.
No, I honestly, I can't remember the last time I had a donut.
Well, go out and get some donuts, buddy.
I can't go out. I can't go out of the house. I can't go out of the house. Anyway.
Why can't you go out?
Well, because I don't want to catch the corona.
Well, of course, but you don't tell me you're not getting other food.
Well, yeah.
Hey, by the way,
I just want to. Here's the thing,
bacon's price has plummeted. By the way, that's true.
Well, I saw that.
Get out there, get some donuts and bacon, buddy.
Here's the thing, though. Like you and I talked about this a little bit, and we've been talking about this for days. With people you're watching, David and I talk to each other just about every day, which is fine.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's okay. A lot of times just you think you're on speaker, but you're really not. But we were talking about this, and you're sitting here, and there's Chris Schlichting. Hello there. Have we been dealing with depression? Oh yeah. We're just going to talk about this. Yeah. Here's how I feed my depression with food.
Wait. But what were you saying right before, and then we'll get to that.
Well, I was going to say, we talk about the fact that you got to watch what you eat when you're in this situation. If I'm bored, I eat. And the problem is that if I know, I know this, I'll go to the store and I'll get stuff. And so now I got enough stuff where I'm like, I got to run out totally and completely before I go back again. Because if I don't, I know I'm going to go get stuff that I probably shouldn't eat.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to eat it all like now. And so in terms of the donuts, right? This is what I'm saying. If I know I'm going to eat them all, I'm like, oh, well, I better not buy any goddamn donuts.
But you still buy them.
No, I don't. No, that's the reason, because I know I don't have, in this situation, I don't have the willpower to say, if I buy a box of 6 donuts, that'll last me for 6 days. Maybe more. That's not me. If I buy a box of donuts, guess how long it's going to last? 90 minutes. So I can't buy donuts.
Well, you've been losing a lot of weight anyway, haven't you?
Yeah, not in the last 3 weeks.
Well, right.
Up to that point, yeah.
To Chris's point, it's hard to not feel depressed or sad about, or anxious about what's happening. And and with not knowing when shows are going to come back, at least for me, because that's how I make my living full time, and and you're worried about your family and you're worried about what's happening in the world. It's hard not to just be like, and so you got to, I feel weird just looking at myself in the screen. It's so
just
weird.
Keep talking.
But, so you end up just overeating like a crazy madman. And, but I have a scale in my living room now because it's between my living room and my kitchen.
Oh, that makes sense.
So it's a big spot. It's like I should just force myself to step on it every time I go into the kitchen to see how I'm doing. But it is something that I've had now that a trainer once told me to get. He said you got to get a scale if you don't have one, and it does. It reminds you of what a fat ass you are. It's like you're a fat ass. Stop eating so much. And then you kind of know, like I know I gained 10 pounds, 10 pounds in the last few weeks, just doing this. And I'm going to look like Jabba the Hutt when we're done. But
you got a tail?
Yeah, that too. I feel like there's more distinguishing factors than a tail for
Jabba the Hutt. I mean, he has a tail. And that's the first thing is like you both got faces. You both got arms.
But like to Chris's point, like I have a therapist. Like I normally see once a month, and I probably should go weekly. I used to, but I am going to talk with her next week. And when this first started coming down, she's like, "Do you want an appointment earlier?" And I'm like, "I think I could make it." But it's hard to not worry about everything and be anxious about it, but you kind of got to step back and just go, okay, well, I can control what I can control. Let me just list a bunch of things I can do during the day and try to stay busy with my career and do videos or do whatever.
There's one of your big fans, Andrew Wegleitner, believes you.
Yeah, Andrew Wegleitner. I have no comment about that. I know I'm hot. Thank you, Andrew.
Oh my gosh.
I like how Andrew's like, I don't care what they're saying about depression or anxiety. I just want to let them know how I think they look.
Dude, so hot. So let's talk about how you started in comedy. Way back when. No, come on, man. I'm interested and other people are interested. You gotta realize this, man. You're one of those guys that you're very helpful to other comics.
By the way, okay, I still don't know now that we're 20 minutes into this video if I should be looking at that.
Look at the camera.
Hold on. Or do I look at you in the screen so I can talk to you?
You can do whatever you want to do. The people like to see that hair bob, though. I guarantee I did tell you that. Guaranteed. So, there's Andy Keenan. Look at that. That's one of those James Stanley.
You tell us your favorite time you bombed, Andy. How about that?
All right. We'll talk about it. And I don't know about bombs, but I like to find out about hell gigs.
I've never bombed.
No, that's a good one. I'll tell you one, Aaron. And I don't know if Aaron.
I'm gonna go get some water.
Yeah, go get some water while we're doing this. No, I actually went when I do my cougar impersonation, my cougar roar at the end of my sets. I really actually hammer it home. And one time,
you got animals in the background. You got animals that you do in your set. You're an animal guy.
I mean, I should have my own zoo show, but let's be fair. So I did a roar, right? And I'm like, and then I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, I felt a little something down that way. And I thought, oh my God, I shit my pants. Luckily,
during the show.
Yeah, during the show. Well, it's the end of my set, so I mean, it's like, yeah, I figured I could get by.
Well, that's how you end all your sets.
Shit my pants, yeah. Shit my pants, shit the bed, shit the stage.
That's how I start mine.
But it's you shouldn't do that. Oh yeah, there you go. I mean, I was gonna tell you, man. I'm trying to look up. So in the back, I always put these live streams of whatever I can find, right? And I'm looking for a live stream of a tiger. and they got Tiger Lake, and there's no goddamn tigers. And they got tiger this and tiger that, and they're all there. They must be too warm for these tigers. They're all hanging out in their cages or their huts or whatever tigers have. So I find a lion. I find Nikita the lioness, and let me see if I can bring up Nikita, because Nikita's probably still just having a nap. And there we go. Let's see how Nikita's doing. Yep, there she is.
That's my kind of lion, dude.
Nikita,
that's me.
That's a live stream. That's not a still shot.
I like how you had to duck out of the screen.
if you look close enough, you can see her stomach going up and down. But god dang. Anyway, so
you just rotate through the backgrounds and they come from different places in the world?
I go through and look for live streams every day.
That kills about an hour.
It kills 15 minutes because I do get bored from it. It's not like they have good live streams.
Well, you showed me one before, the bald eagle.
Oh, the bald eagle cam. Yeah, but I just had the bald eagle cam yesterday. Here, let's see let's see what he's doing. What's the bald eagle doing? See, because it's right in the middle. Yeah, let's get a good shot of that. Let's get a good shot of that bald eagle. I can't because I'm right now.
Get your big body out of that. Now people are going to think I'm talking to a bald eagle.
David Harris, are you a true American, or do I have to start eating animals?
Anyway, so
honestly,
it's
no offense that I think people would find that more entertaining, me talking to a bald eagle or you talking to a bald eagle.
You talking as a bald eagle. Oh, David, what are you and I talk about this stuff. What movies and TV shows are you recommending for folks that are stuck in the
Chris is good questions, man.
Chris is a great he's awesome.
No, I didn't say he's awesome. He just have good questions. It's a great show, Ozark. I'm sure everybody knows about. There's actually another show that Aaron Isaacs recommended to me, which I've seen the first 6 episodes. It's on Hulu. It's called Devs, like development. It's Devs, and it's like a sci-fi film with what's his name from Parks and Rec? I can't remember things. I'm 42. I'm starting to
Ron.
Yeah, whatever. We're old men. We don't know. But anyway, check that show out. I love those 2 shows are great. I don't know. There's so many good shows. I guilty of pleasure. Mine is Homeland. I like that. It's it's a little cheesy at times, but I like it. And man, there's so many good shows. It's hard to remember all the shows you've seen now because there's just so many to watch.
Yeah.
What do you like, John?
Oh, I'm really old and funky.
You like the Three Stooges? You just watch a lot of.
I watch the Three Stooges on rotation. I like to watch The Office. I don't know. I can't tell you how many times I've watched The Office.
Yeah, I started watching that. I never watched the full series from front to back or whatever, and I still have. But Ryan, my roommate, and I were watching The Office. It's just so slick, such a clever show. You know what? There's the other show that Julia Louis-Dreyfus is in. Veep is fantastic. And that I don't know if that's not written by the same people, but that's an Avenue 5 or Avenue 6 also or whatever. That's another good one.
Avenue 5, I think you were telling me. Road to Perdition is a very good movie. That was that came out a while back, and that was overlooked. That's when Tom Hanks is kind of a.
Yeah, that's true. He's kind of a jerk a little bit in the beginning of that film. At least, he gets a little more likable as it goes on. But it's such a weird thing to see Tom Hanks being a jerk. It's like seeing you being a jerk.
It's impossible.
So, yeah, I don't know. I'm a movie guy. I like a lot of movies, like a lot of TV, and
yeah, I did. Yeah, in fact, before my dad married my mom, he was dating the pianist at the theater. Because in the silent movies. No, it's not goddamn true. How old do you think he is? Oh my gosh!
A lot of language issues with these comics.
They can't help it. They can't help it. Aaron was watching with you last week.
Aaron, I'm not gonna. Aaron, I don't know Aaron. By the way, no, Aaron and I we watched it over text. and with another friend of his, and we kind of texted to each other as we were watching, which was actually really fun. But I have trouble. I have ADD, so I have trouble like watching and texting and eating at the same time. So I'm like, I don't know what's happening. Like, what? Wait, how do I got it now? What did I miss in the film? And I thought I was supposed to do this. It's too much for me. Again, we're old men now. We're getting to the point where we can't do it all.
All we can do is try. And you're young compared to me.
I'm 106. So
really,
yeah, 106.
It seems a little old.
106.
So you must have started comedy then when you were 6.
Well, I feel like the people get tired of this story, but I started as a magician when I was 13, which is comedy in and of itself.
Yes.
And probably even younger. When I was a really young boy, I saw this magician came to my grandparents' country club. We weren't rich; they were, and he stuck a needle through a balloon and it didn't pop. And I was like, "That is really the coolest thing I've ever seen." Now I would never take a needle, stick it through any sort of rubber. Ta-da, baby, no thank you. But it was cool to see that. And then I'd go to the magic shop a bunch with my parents because I was a dorky nerd when I was really young, and now I'm just a dork. It was fun. I just liked performing. I put up, I did like little dance shows in my basement. I DJ out the window, which I've heard people doing that. Out my bedroom window, I would like set up a speaker and just start DJing and put on Paula Abdul CD and blast it to the neighborhood.
Oh my God!
I should start doing that again. I think I would be good for my neighborhood. They really
your backyard neighbor would love it.
Yeah, so I did that, and I was performing and making money doing magic when I was a kid. And the reason I say that is because my dad had some job struggles, and so between those two things happening at the same time, I was like, "Oh, this is it." If I can make money for doing something I love, and my parents are having struggles with that, like, this is the ticket. And so then I just started performing more and more. And I was always like a funny person, I guess. And so I tried to I always had jokes in my act, and sometimes my act was a joke. Thank you. And so that kind of always had little jokes. And then my parents got divorced, and I was like, well, I better, when I was like halfway through college, I was like, better write some comedy.
Got to support the family.
Yeah. And just to deal with the anxiety.
Yeah.
And I it took me a long time before I just did stand up on stage, until just doing stand up alone. When I was probably 30, I took some classes from Scott Novotny and like comedy. We had a recital, which is what I call all my shows now. Recital. And a little tutu, I bow.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, it's so that's kind of my trajectory. And then I went on the road. Then more and more, when I was about 30, about 12 years ago. And that's really when I started stand up. And so at other places, like a lot of bars, a lot of random rooms, clubs, eventually still doing my corporate events too. So.
Gotcha. There's Muggsy from Arizona. Muggsy is I hope you're well down there, my friend. Thank you for looking in.
Hey, Muggsy. I don't know who that is, but hello.
Sure,
did Steve Russell check out?
Muggsy had the long blonde hair and used to go to the open mic in Goonies. Originally from Winona.
Oh, well, I could I couldn't see.
You'd recognize him if you saw him, but
thanks for watching, Muggsy.
Yeah.
I want a name like Muggsy. That's kind of a cool Muggsy.
You got that David Harris name going though. I mean, dude, how could you get rid of that brand? You've got such a brand going right now.
That's how I get rid of the brand.
Like you could hold a convention for all the David Harrises and then headline it.
You could too, John Russell. That's a pretty common name.
Pretty common.
I'm the 1,400,764th 374th millionth Harris.
Yep.
He's watching from Minnesota. I like that. All of Minnesota. Where does he live? Why is he so cryptic?
He's in Alex.
I'm watching from Minnesota.
He's up in Alexandria.
I love Alexandria. I've performed up there. That's a great little area.
Andrew remembers your first joke.
You don't have to put everything on the screen.
Believe me, I'm not putting everything up on the screen. Just the things that tickle me. All right. I know you've been doing this for a while. Who would you say is the most fun comic that you've worked with, or the coolest, or however you do, the guy that made the most impression on you?
And Aaron Isaacs and all the people that have been watching, and Chris Schlichtling, even though I haven't performed with him yet. What's the question?
So the question is, who is the most fun, the most impressive, however you want to gauge it, the one that's like, oh my God, that was the coolest thing that I worked with that guy?
I don't know. There's so many different people that are, that are amazing in this business, as you know. I would say you generally, I don't know, the way I feel about it is like 90% of the people, maybe 95 even, you tend to really like, and then there's always like two that you're like, not gonna want to work with him again. Ever. I don't want to see that person ever again. I don't want to breathe near that person. But I think Louis Anderson's one of the top people I've gotten a chance to perform with that has been amazing, and he has a lot of good advice for newer and up and coming comics about being authentic and being true to yourself, and writing from that vein, and just he's been doing it forever, and he's a legend, so he's got a lot of good advice. Bill Bauer, who not as many people know, but he's also a Minnesota legend. You and I both worked with Wild Bill, and he taught us a ton from, he would kill every show. Every time he'd go out there and kill. And, there's so many different people, even just our friends that we work with you, and it's fun to work with when we get to do shows together. And because we, the thing about working with your friends is often, and a lot of comics know this, but lay people don't necessarily think about this stuff, but we get to see each other's sets in a longer form than we normally do at open mics. So when we get to do shows together, it's like we're just all doing our A material and for a longer period of time. So it's fun to see, what new jokes you've added to something that you've done, or what jokes that you've kept that we're tired of.
I hear you. Hey, there's Mo.
Mo. What's up, buddy?
Thanks for looking in, Mo.
Mo's a super fun person to work with. We just got to do a show in Iowa together, in a gorgeous theater in Denison, Iowa, before comedy stopped existing forever. And and that was a blast. Theaters are always a great place to perform, because theaters and packed clubs, because that's how it should be seen, really.
Absolutely.
The energy is just amazing, and people are choosing, hey, we're going to go to this venue, we're going to see comedy tonight, and it's an experience, when it's done well and it's in a good theater. So it's always a pleasure to perform. So there's so many people that it's fun to perform with, that you learn stuff from by just, I've been doing this a while, but you constantly learning and figuring out from other comics, maybe I should try that little thing, or maybe I should not do this, or maybe I shouldn't yell at the audience.
yeah
Whatever. It's like there's certain things about that you learn from just performing with a bunch of different comics and watching other comics that are that you can go you can get better, because that's the thing about stand-up. You never stop learning.
And it's and honestly, like you said, when you perform at all those different venues, you learn how to deal with anything that could possibly come up.
Well, right. That's what's great about that, and open mics, and constantly still doing open mics as you are, even if you're a professional. I think those fish should say stick 6 feet away from John. Okay, Aaron.
The fish will move away when they start to see bubbles.
You stay away from John. Don't hurt him, Goldie.
Anyway, so let me ask you. We talk a little bit about the good gigs. Do you have some? Less
I've
than?
never not had a good gig. Every gig I've had has been perfect.
Yeah, I know, but
I'm lying.
I was with you on all the good ones.
No, there's been some tough gigs. I mean, you can't go through this business without having tough gigs. Even if no matter how many times you do open mics and practice and try to hone your jokes, you're never going to know what's going to happen in a live performance. I mean, one time I did a gig.
There's Rox. I don't want to interrupt you, but hi, Rox. Thank you for looking in. We miss you too.
One time I did a gig at, I don't want to say which casino. We'll just say it was casino. There were 600 people, and this was for VIPs, which I thought meant like people in suits that were like fancy businessmen. That's not the VIPs at the casino. It's old people that have money to spend or don't have money to spend that they bring in for this dinner on a Sunday night after they're done gambling, and it's a free show, and they sometimes don't care about the free show. They just want to eat their meal and go back to playing more. And I remember starting my show and just the lights were all on. I mean, there were so many things that were wrong and again, this was years back, so I didn't know all the things to help them adjust the show accordingly to make it good aesthetically for the audience with lights and sound and all this stuff. I remember my microphone wasn't working very well. And, I had some magic I was doing in my set, which normally would have been great. And I just could not get them. They were not laughing. They were so far away. It was 600 people in this giant convention room. And I told the agent I wasn't ready for this. He's like, you'll be fine. Not fine. So eventually 20 minutes into the show, they have the raffle bid, that they've been drawing prizes out of. The people in charge push that over in front of me, and I see that there's a sign that says "Wrap it up," and I'm like, and I have mixed emotions because I'm like, well, duh, and then also I'm like, I'm sorry. So, I just was like, 5 minutes later, I did my last piece, and I walked off stage, and then the guy gets on there, and I had made a joke about performing at kids' birthday parties. And he really stuck the knife in. He goes, well, now we know why you perform at kids' birthday parties.
Ooh.
I was like, oh, man. I mean, it was horrible. It was the worst things. And I knew I wasn't ready for it going in. And it was like, this was like, I don't know, 12 years ago or something. But it was really tough. And then, of course, a few years later, I went and did a similar gig at a different casino, and it went great. And people talk about hell gigs, and a lot of times you blame the venue, blame this, blame that. I mean, I wasn't ready. That's just it. I wasn't ready for it, and I told the agent that, and they're like, "Yeah, you're fine," and I wasn't. And so sometimes I just don't like when comics always blame the venue or blame the thing. It's like sometimes on a rare occasion that's the case. Other times it's your fault, and then other times it's just on occasion you have a bad. It's just you don't connect,
Yeah.
You don't connect with the crowd for whatever reason. But that's why you do the open mics. That's why you sort of practice for so long to try to get things so it works almost every time, And luckily, I'm at a point where most of the time it's good, now. But I remember, I don't know if it was Kathy Ladman or someone, famous comic, said sometimes it's a crap show. Sometimes you kill, and other times a show's a show. And I think a lot of times it's in that bell curve area where it's, but you don't want to do stuff you're really not ready for. But at the same time, you sometimes have to take that leap to get to the next level. But that's oftentimes why for public shows, there's an opener and a middle and a headliner. And so you kind of work those positions. So by the time, but you can't control everything. And there's going to be some rough shows.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Here's one from Rox.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
It was I think I remember that one. It was like a bar in the back, and I don't remember it going super horribly because I do remember the but that is their fault though, Chris.
Yeah.
for having you.
I always just say, hey, if my mom would have been 6 inches taller, I'd have been playing in the NBA.
But I just think it's easy to go, it wasn't it was this person's fault, that person's fault. Yeah, I mean, some shows are going to be more timid and some than others, but ultimately it just forces you to try to get better and try to, learn from how do I do this better next time, And
hey, there's Curtis. Curtis in there. Good to see you, my friend. Thanks for looking in. Hope you're safe down there.
Looks like he's got a microphone in this picture, although I haven't seen him on stage recently. Vertus.
Well, because he moved.
Well, I don't care. Get up.
You should go down. You should go down. I believe.
Where did he move?
I think he moved to Mississippi or Alabama. To be honest, there's Tim Flanagan.
Good one, Tim. Tim only knows how to insult other comics. He doesn't have his own material.
Well,
that's the problem.
He's
like the Don Rickles of Minnesota comedy, except not funny.
Not funny or me. I don't know. Tim Flanagan's got his own bag of problems.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you have 18 kids.
18 kids, and they're all girls. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. There's Stephen Tovar. Good afternoon, Stephen. Yes.
I feel like this is like inside for most comics that people are watching as opposed to just a general public. You have a huge fan base of just local comics, John.
Well, I think honestly, to be fair, 90% of these people that are making comments about you haven't watched any of the other things I've been doing.
Well, they're
on here for you. They're here for David Harris.
Stephen Tovar years ago would I'd go over to his house and he would blow pot smoke in my face, and it was the best experience I've ever had because I'm an anxious person. And one time after he did that, I started making out with couch pillows. I mean, that was a separate issue.
Oh yeah, I was there. I remember that. That
was
bad.
Very relaxing, and I was like, I gotta hump this couch, Yeah. And it felt good. I like a little pot smoke blown in my face. I don't like to do pot because I'm afraid it's not as controlled as my normal anxiety meds because you get different strains of pot. You don't know where it's coming from. It's probably laced with heroin. I don't know. Anyway, whereas my meds are from a factory that's who knows what's in them. So I like to do mine.
Yeah, that's right, Chris.
I agree with that. With Chris has a great point. I agree with that.
We were talking about that. It's like with me. I got a hole-in-one in golf, and then I quit. That was the last time I ever golfed because I can't do any better than it.
John, no one believes that you got a hole-in-one.
I'll bring the papers. I'll look it up. I got it somewhere tomorrow.
It just looks like I crush at open mics because Goonies is a warm room, Dusty.
Yeah.
And I don't. Here he comes. Yeah, Andy's afraid of me, so he has to pull me down a level. He's afraid that I'm going to come attack him. Yeah, so he feels like he has to pull me down.
Swinging rocks. David looks younger. Oh, so do I. Well, thank you, Karen. That's very kind of you.
We're not booking you on any shows. Just get over it.
Heroin pot's his third favorite. Didn't even know there was that strain.
By the way, Steven, are you trying to get arrested over this live stream or?
I gotta tell you. Oh my God!
Illegal. I don't want to have to be like searching for illegal drugs, just so I can feel relaxed. I mean, not that it would help me anyway, but I'm just saying, I don't want to be like, hey, what do you got there? You got some drugs? I'd probably ruin the drug deal yelling in the alley. The cops would be hearing screaming, and then they'd be like, what's going on over there? I'll be like, we're just doing drugs. Don't worry about it. I mean, this I wanted some candy.
And that's why you live in the neighborhood you live in.
I live in my neighborhood's just great.
No, I know it is. I've been there.
I will do drugs no matter what. Okay?
Dan Bublitz Jr. Hello, good to see you, my friend.
I don't know why people are tuning in for this crap. Honestly,
I say this at the end every time. I thank everybody that watches. They have absolutely no reason to watch any of it, and yet they've been watching me do this shit now for almost 3 weeks.
I think they're tuning in for the fishes.
I think the background, like I said, the backgrounds are killer.
What is that? What are the types of fish in there? I don't know.
There's a purple one, a yellow one.
Have you ever had a pet fish, John?
Yeah, dude, I used to have 100-gallon fish tank when I lived down in Rochester.
What happened?
They got too big. And how am I drinking water? Well, I learned it from David. It's magic. I had a 100-gallon tank. I used to feed them guppies. They were the African cichlids, and it was so much fun to watch them chase around and just snap them all up. And
That's crazy.
And there was one fish that he'd bite the head off and then he'd spit it out, the rest of it. And it's like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. There's Jen Shaw. I hope you're doing well, Jen.
I call her JS.
Oh, that's pretty clever.
You're JR. See how I did that?
Oh my gosh. Well, you guys, thank you. I got a whole pile of cats lined up, and I'll line up anybody that wants to come on with me and do this.
Yeah, we know you're desperate, John.
I'm not desperate. I even if there was nobody, I would just turn it on and keep doing it. I mean, yeah, I have Steven, you know me. I got a real big tank.
I had a fish one time, and yeah. I had two little guppies, and I don't know if they were guppies or what kind of fish they were. They were tiny.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, they were in the tank, and I went on the road and I fed them before I left, and then I came back and only one of them was still there. Like I couldn't see where the other one is. I think it died, or maybe the first one ate the second one.
Were they big?
Probably not.
They're just guppies? No, guppies don't eat guppies.
They were super tiny. I'm like, I probably shouldn't own fish.
Maybe a cat snuck in there and ate it.
Then I won't.
Ooh, look, a big orange one.
It was my neighbor had given me her aquarium, and I was like, I'm not a pet guy.
Dude, I had a 100-gallon tank with a special thing on a thing, and I had all these fish, and I mean, literally, I grew them from tiny to like catching size. And I had one of those great big huge suckers that cleans the side, right? The guck off the glass, and that was the worst fish because he would eat the other fish's poop, but nobody would eat his poop.
Do they do that?
Yeah, they do. They absolutely do.
Why do they do that?
Why do they do? Just because that's what they do. They're eating, man. Hell yeah, this will get you to the next level. I can tell you, so many bookers. The next level? So many bookers are watching this show right now, Chris. So many. Perfect. David Harris. There you go. Don't forget Mike Finks. Get down, shave down, get down. Post quarantine hair Olympics. That's coming up. We'll remind you of that here coming up too. Because oh my God, David, you could win a big prize, and you got the hair for it.
Don't tell me about my hair.
Oscars, yeah, Oscars are like puppies. Dude, any of those cichlids, if they get big enough, they know what the heck's going on, and they become used to, their surroundings.
He looks scary in that bandana.
To be fair, Steven looks scary without the bandana.
Yeah,
but he looks even worse with it.
But I mean, even more, which is hard for him to do. But he does. I think he would wear that like anyway.
Oh. Now this is a handy. Handy.
It's such a lie. It's such a lie. I always buy stuff at the store for him. He never buys stuff at the store for me.
Well, at least he's making an effort.
I don't think he's not even going. Guaranteed.
Dude, I miss you, Ryan Call. I hope you're doing okay, buddy.
He might go get fast food.
Well, yeah, tell him to get you some French fries.
Only if you disinfect the food before you give it to me, Brian.
Yeah, a little bit. So do you have a mask, David?
I haven't been out where I needed it yet, but I have bandanas.
So you would do the bandana route.
Well, I don't know what else to do. Yeah.
No, I understand.
Okay, Ryan. Yeah, he eats my food constantly.
Love you too, buddy.
He likes to poke. He can't help it.
Oh yeah. Chris Schlichting has kids at home. He will be back on the teaching circuit.
You can feel it's time to wrap it up.
We're getting close. I just want to say, Chris Schlichting, who was on with me on Tuesday, Holy cow, you guys! You want to have some fun? Watch him in the evenings. He's got a little deal he does called Schlick News, and he's got adult scavenger hunts, and it's fun. It's really fun. It's a lot of fun. So look up Chris. You're not scary. All the skulls are smiling. I can't tell. It's too little.
Are you talking about your skull? Your head?
He's got skulls on his scarf. I'm not going to call it a bandana. I'm going to call it a scarf.
Well, I've had enough of this.
Have you had enough, David? All right. You've had enough. If you want to leave, you can leave. Before you leave, I just want to remind people of stuff. Thank you for watching, Muggsy.
Hey, thanks, Muggsy.
I want to remind people that are still on here and people that will watch back, because I know some people are actually still working and watch it after the fact. I want to remind you, Wendy Mayberry's album is available now for.
Am I Wendy Mayberry? Why are we promoting Wendy's album right now?
Because I'm talking about everybody that I like, David, and you don't have an album. If you had an album, I would totally promote your album.
All of a sudden you've been talking to me, and all of a sudden you're like, now it's time for Wendy Mayberry's album?
Like I said, if you want to leave, you can. I'm going to talk about Wendy Mayberry's. I'm going to talk about Day Pieces. I'm going to talk about Nathan Timmels. I'm going to talk about the contest that Mike Fink is putting on, and we're probably going to. Mike Fink had a problem getting on the. Here's a good question from Andy. Do you think you'll ever put an album out, David?
I don't know. I don't know if anybody really cares. I don't have plans at this point to put out an album. I'd like to actually have funny comedy first. That's my goal. But yeah, no, I'm working on. I'm just in all honesty, my goal is to just keep trying to create new material and make it better than previous material. And maybe someday I might do an album.
And by the way, please, if you haven't already watched David's news segment, David News, it's great.
David 19 News. Yeah, I'm doing just
David 19
segment once in a while. I don't. It's regular on my Facebook.
It's good, and it's fun.
On my first one's on my YouTube page at youtube.com/David Harris Live.
And if you want to follow David and you're not already, it's at David Harris Live. At David Harris Live. And his
when
website
I die, an S is going to appear after my website, and it'll be David Harris Lives. Then people will be like, wait, what? And it's going to be really confusing.
Well, that'll be a hack site.
Yeah.
That'll be when you think you're going to go and see David Harris, but actually they're going to get all your information and then drain your bank account.
Oh, well, I hope
ask for
having 45 cents.
Ask for contributions. Anyway, folks, David, seriously, thanks again for taking the time.
Thank you, buddy. This was fun.
Hanging out with me.
It was a reason to get out of bed and shave and shower and finally brush my teeth after these 3 weeks. And I'm going to go back to bed and never wake up again.
Sounds like a good idea to me. Again, folks, if you're I was gonna ask you, have you done one of these virtual open mics yet, or are you plan on doing it, or you think you're gonna do it?
I have no plans to do that. I'm just doing a live stream thing right now. On my own live stream thing on Saturday nights at 8 p.m.
Okay.
For the 3 people that want to watch.
It's more than 3.
4. So no, it's fun. I just chit chat like you, but it's not with one person. It's just with everybody that wants to tune in.
Yeah.
And you just hang out, have fun, just kind of kill some time and pretend we're not all locked up in our house quarantine.
Makes perfect sense to me. All right. So again, check out David's stuff. And tomorrow,
how close are you supposed to be to the camera? Is it this?
You can be as close or as far away as you want. I mean,
I don't know
if you want people to count the pores on your nose, then I'd get a little.
How many chins? How many chins? I don't even like to make comments about that stuff,
because then they'll start counting my chins. Anyway, we've got tomorrow at 1:00. Logan Nielsen and Andy Fisher and I will be doing what we like to start calling the trifecta, where the 3 of us will be there and we'll answer just about anything and let you know what's really going on. I know it's odd, but I mean, what the hell? I got to. Hot? Hot. It's good. And if Andrew Wegleitner thinks it's hot, then I won't believe if you think it's hot.
I like the trifecta.
But here's the interesting part. Logan Nielsen's down in Iowa. where there is no stay-at-home order, but yet they sort of are still quarantined anyway. So it'll be interesting to see if anything has changed for him.
He's a funny dude.
He is a very funny dude. Andy Fisher is a dude. No, Andy Fisher. Andy Fisher is a very funny dude.
Hey, you should have Ben Marcotte on this thing.
I should have Ben Marcotte on.
Why don't
this
you
thing.
have Ben Marcotte? Is he not loud enough?
It has nothing to do with loudness.
Well,
it just
you
has.
played-
Here's the thing.
You haven't been loud.
Dude.
Me, Chris, Andy. No, don't deny you hate Ben.
No,
Also-
it has nothing to do with that. I would have just about anybody on with me. I'm not kidding. What happens is
it's like wait. There's all these people, and then Ben, like anybody.
No. So the problem is this. I've got stuff that I'm like, I do this, and then when I get done with this, I want to go lay down. We've already talked about this. I want to take it down.
I think Aaron Isaacs would like to do this.
Aaron Isaacs, Andrew Wegline. I don't care. You guys watch. I want you to come on. I just want to remind everybody that my mom does a little review of the show after it's all said and done. My mom is 82 years old. You don't want to get a bad review from my mother. You don't want to get a bad review from her.
Wait, how does she? Where does the review appear?
She just texts it to me.
Well, I'm nervous about that.
Oh, you would, because I'm not. I don't want to.
Is she Miss Iowa 1920 or whatever it was?
1957, Miss Charles City. Yeah, and that's true. Dan Bublis is going to be on with me next week.
Dan B.
Andrew, we'll talk. We'll
Andrew,
get you on here too.
Look at this. I just helped you with your guess. Where's my money?
You didn't help me. I'm like 3 weeks out.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. You were so busy. I apologize.
I know, but like I said, I honestly, oh yeah. Now see, you made my mom laugh. You made her laugh, David. I think that's a good sign.
Oh,
When
well,
when
if I
the
can bring your 82-year-old mother over, I am excited for my days in comedy to keep going.
When the text comes in, I'll forward it to you. I'll let you know how you did. She might be just laughing, to like put up a good front.
You sure it's not a fax that she's sending in? Just kidding, Mary. I'm sure you're very sweet.
She typically, and Mom, don't change your rating ways. But typically the text is, oh, he seems like a nice guy. And it's like, all right.
Well, what else? Yeah, what else do you want, right? What else do you want?
Because I don't think my mom would use real bad language. My mom would not use bad language about people.
He's a terrorist.
Oh, sorry, 81 and a half.
Oh, excuse me. Well, hey, she is sharp. She's on this thing.
Andrew's right. Andrew's 100% correct.
Hey, dads love me too, Andrew. You know what I mean?
David and his dad love. All right, folks. David, thank you again so much. All of you, first of all, I just want to remind you, I mean this. You have no reason to watch this ever. And for those of you that watch it, I thank you so much. Because literally,
we made it to an hour.
The only reason we're almost an hour, and you want to be 30 minutes, and I told you we're going to have too much.
I really wanted to be 3 minutes, but I told you 30.
Whatever. But the point is, now I'm wrapping up, so you be quiet. You literally, you guys have watched it. It means
bad at running a classroom.
You know what? I mean, you didn't realize I could just mute your mic. It'd solve all the problems. You guys, it means a lot to me that you watched. It means a lot to me because I literally have no reason to get up. This is the only reason I have to get up during all of this. I got nothing to do, not a damn thing. So I appreciate that more than you guys know. If you continue to watch, I'll keep having people on, and hopefully it'll be a lot of you guys. Right now, I've got all of next week lined up. I've got some more people the following week. Well, I will get on as many people as want to get on. I may end up splitting it up too. I don't know. I would tell you this. I wanted to do reenactment of some old time radio scripts. And guess what? I'm overwhelmed. There were so many people that wanted to do it. And now I'm like, I got to find a script. I got to find this. I can't do it.
You have it by your bedside.
We'll figure it out. Anyway, point being, you guys, if you see somebody that's streaming something, most of the time it's for their own well-being. It's for their own need to be social. So please, if you're wandering through Facebook and you see one of your friends or even just one of your acquaintances that's doing something live online, stop by, give it a watch for a while, give it a like, let them know, because that's what we're all after. It's just so we got something and people are watching and it's like we don't feel alone. And
now you're going to go back to your alone bedroom.
Well, yeah, but I had a good time for an hour. Come on. But anyway, please do that for me. Whether it's comedy, whether it's we could do Prairie Home Companion. If you want to be who's the main guy? Who's the main guy, David?
Keeler.
If you want to be Garrison Keeler, Andrew, and harass some of your coworkers, go right ahead, and we'll get it all lined up. But comedy, music, spoken poetry, whatever the hell.
Don't watch spoken poetry, but whatever else.
Okay, musical poetry, then you can watch. But anyway, point being, you guys, I just want to thank you so much for watching, and it means the world to me. And I look forward to seeing you guys all tomorrow at 1:00 with Andy Fisher and Logan Nielsen, and we'll do our thing. That's kind of our deal on Friday, because that's just what we've been doing. I know. I never have a real good end for any of this shit.
Peace out, Midwest.
All right, you guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Bye.